Kia ora and welcome to episode 277 of the Stag Rule Podcast. Make sure you're subscribed and have left us a rating, slap those 5 stars, so to speak. This episode I'm joined by Sam Kapoor from Glacier Rifle Company. Glacier Rifle Company is a family-owned third-generation business operating out of Hamilton, New Zealand. I had the pleasure of going into their magnificent workshop and looking at machines that I had no idea about. What did he say? 5-axis CNC machines. I was just like, crikey dicks. Where do you start? Our company has been manufacturing mission-critical components and sub-assemblies into the aerospace, satellite, and defence industries for local and international customers for over 63 years. So, the quality is baked in. Understanding performance needs from first-hand experience in New Zealand terrain, and with our passion for hunting, our rifle performance is driven by accuracy, weight, reliability, and ease of carry. We can personally customise rifles with variations specific to your needs. This includes custom actions, bespoke bolt handles, artwork on the receiver and bottom metal, and specific finishes on stocks. We understand what a rifle means to you and what it says about you. We know it's more than just a sporting tool. It's a statement too. So this episode is quite introductory to Glacier Rifle. What Sam and I sort of discussed is that in a few months' time we'll get Gerald, his dad, down as well, and we'll have a real sort of nut out of a few things. So the key for this episode is if you've got some questions, please submit them in, because that'll be super helpful for that second episode, especially getting Gerald into the mix. That'll be pretty exciting. Who watched the Chiefs on Friday? Sam Cane getting over the white line with a vengeance. The strength on that man, the resilience on that man. I put up a cheeky post that there's probably a bit of Cane's deer velvet to do with that. Our bodies know how to heal, and boy, that boy has had some aches and pains heal. But as we age, it can sometimes struggle to keep up, and injuries, aches and pains, as we're talking about, come knocking. Cane's deer velvet is packed full of amazing nutrients that the body uses in maintaining the immune system, bones, joints, circulation, and general well-being. Simply replenish the nutrients, healing happens, and you are left to get on with living your life to the full, like being the All Black captain and leading the Chiefs out to a magnificent victory over the Crusaders. Find out more at www.canesdeervelvet.com and use the code STAGRAW252 to get yourself 20% introductory discount. That's at www.canesdeervelvet.com, but you just need to punch that button in the show notes. While you're there, if you're after some electrolytes, crikey dicks, I did the Tongariro crossing and back. We didn't go all the way to the end, but we went to where that hut, they got bloody bowled by an eruption, had been, and then we ran back. So a cheeky 26 and a bit Ks, probably bit off more than I can chew. I was out there with Charles Peters. Go back and check out his episode, and Paddy Davin. Go back a wee way further and check out my episode with Paddy. I actually have to sit down again with Paddy. He's doing great work with Paddy Trains, and Charles and I also need to sit down again and have a good chew the fat after our awesome mission together over the Tongariro. But yeah, electrolytes, golly, do they come in handy. Drinkelement.com/stagraw, and when the brain's not so good because you've deprived it of everything, reach for a drink hard Epa when you're back in the service station or the supermarket, or if you'd like to have a stash like I do, drinkhardepa.com/collections/all products. Just, that'll take you to the shop, and you can use Stagraw for 20% off that order. Right, without further ado, episode 277, we're trucking along. Leave those 5 stars. That'll help more people hear and enjoy the Stag Raw podcast and help us keep bringing you these awesome episodes. Enjoy. What did I do with my drink? Put it over there.
It's a small one, is it?
That's your one. And you've got the world's longest drink of juice, don't you?
Yeah. It's too hot today, so I thought I'd have some juice instead. But
Yeah, 28 degrees in the mighty Wakatumba, the old Wakachang-chang.
it's been sweating in the workshop.
What did you have to come in to do?
Innovating on a new tool. for a carbon fibre project I've got going. So I won't give you too much detail on it, but
Got some circles with some holes in it.
yeah, and some outside donuts. But it should be pretty good once it's up and running. The prototype's done its part, and now I need to make it look like it's a real thing.
So is that for you guys or for a client?
No, for Glacier.
Yeah. Oh, for Glacier, right.
Yeah, so not just rifles, but other industries too.
Yeah. So what's the whole big unit company going on here?
I won't give you the proper name, but I'll give you MTE.
Yeah.
Yep. 64 years of precision manufacturing.
Yeah.
Here in the Waikato. Started back in the early days with my grandfather and his sons and his daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and now myself and my cousin.
And so you were telling me when we were heading into your little carbon workshop that you wanted to be a farmer.
Yep.
And Dad said, no, you got to get a trade. And so you're like, oh, okay, I would do engineering. What was the case for him, or do you not know? Did he have a choice?
I think quite a bit of it had something to do with he had a vision, I think, but I could be totally wrong at the same time. Growing up as kids, we used to ride our bikes around the workshop factory or on the machines and play with the handles on the machines. You know, play with Lego and Meccano and Connects, all that sort of hands-on stuff.
Mm.
And then I think he probably saw something that, I don't know, people look out for in engineers or people that are quite creative.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of set it up as, well, we'll let you do this. And you can be as creative as you want to be, but when it comes to the final point of being at school, we're going to guide you where we want you to sort of go. Yeah. And it's paid off quite well, I think.
Yeah. So how many siblings you got?
I got an older brother and a younger sister.
And are they involved?
Yeah, my brother does a lot of the accounts and oversees a lot of the financials of the business.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister used to when she was going through her tech days, early childhood, doing career work and picking up and dropping off. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
So what were you doing in school? Did you do metal work, or it was kind of not worth it because there was a way better workshop here?
Yeah, definitely that. The school I went to for high school didn't really have a lot of stuff there. You're either into arts and crafts.
Yeah.
And they'd send you outside of school to go and do other projects.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So it was all outsourced to other schools to use their technology rooms and carpentry tools.
What about design and drawing aspect? Did they have that?
Yeah, I did NCA level 1, I think it was, in design.
Yeah.
And that was just basically getting the use protractors and stuff to do your planned drawings.
Yeah. So narrow technical drawing.
Yeah, I was real crap at it. But luckily the computers are...
I was about to say, you can run a CAD program.
Yeah. I can design it all myself on the computer, idea on my head to a hand sketch to then turn it into a 3D model and then print it.
Yeah. On the old 3D printer.
Yep.
And then the back engineering to be able to make it at scale.
Yep.
I don't know. How do you even write a program, or what sort of goes on there? So you got a model. Yeah.
So we'll take a 3D model, and then we'll turn that 3D model into what we call CAM.
Mm-hmm.
So it's now a camming programming software. It takes the Paraslide or the IGS or the SAT file, and it creates all the geometries for you to turn into parameters for the machining. And you have to create the toolpaths to make that part happen.
Yeah.
So you've got to tell it where it is in the vise or on the machine, what tool is going to come in and cut it with, what sort of surface finish do you want, all the feeds and speeds. Yep. And it's a really easy way to make a mistake because you're not doing it by hand. My trade started off as manual machining, so using manual mills and lathes and grinders.
Yeah.
So to make a mistake, it was a lot harder. And now in a CNC, you might have missed something on the computer and go to your machine, push go, and it'll plunge the cutter into the part. Take out the spindle or machine your vise, which is quite often.
So that's just the wrong grid type thing.
Yeah, you've told it to go somewhere else, or you've rushed something, or you haven't checked the wee parameters off. Yep. It won't do it for you.
Yeah.
You have
Yeah.
to do that.
I was had this thing with my daughter, my girlfriend today. It was like that Taylor Swift's song "The Problem Is Me" is so applicable to so many things. So many people need to take on board that song, and like computers, it's look at yourself. It did what you told it to do.
Yeah. That's what our quality engineers always say. Yeah, you've made the mistake.
Yeah.
not the machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good. So why Glacier?
Gerald did a couple of trips up into the Godley, and he kind of fell in love with it. Yeah, the big glacier faces, the old glacier faces have been shingle and rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so did he come up with the name, or?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then we ballparked it for a long time at work. We had a whole entire wall of like A3 papers and different names, and everyone at work could recommend a name at the same time.
So how long ago was that?
Sure, 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so who did you say was the other rifle company that was in here? Stock company that was in here?
That was when High Tech was here in 2019.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess he had 2 years of overlap.
Yeah. So we're making our own actions, all the components, and then we needed a stock to go with it. So we worked with another company to make our stocks, and then we thought we'd give it a try ourselves. It worked out quite well.
Nice. And so where did you see a market for this, or was it you guys' own interest, or?
Mainly around our own interest. So we don't do a lot of hunting as much as we'd like to, but having a really nice lightweight firearm at the same time on a really reliable platform, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what was your first rifle made out of here?
So there was 1 to 4, I believe it was, and they were 6.5 by .284s. Yep, with South Fork carbon barrels, our titanium actions, and the South Fork were making the stocks for us at the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you remember what it weighed in it?
Yeah, they were 6.5 pounds. Yep. But strong as anything.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, what's the aim each time? Lighter, like.
So that's a hot question, really. You can go light or you can go heavier. We can make a stock weigh 600 grams or 500 grams. But then if you're going to put a big chunky barrel on there, there's your weight already compromised. You can have a really lightweight action, but once again, a carbon barrel or a steel barrel, you can just change your weight just like that.
So on that carbon barrel, that was what I said one of my questions was.
Yep.
What have you done to it?
Nothing. We don't do a heck of a lot to the barrels. So we'll buy them as barrel blanks, and then do our machining from that part. Yeah.
Which is what?
So we'll do the chambering and put the crown on the muzzle thread, and then seat them into our receivers.
Yeah.
And the barrel is already the barrel blank, so it's either fluted or standard.
So why is a carbon wrapped barrel a thing? Have they used less metal, or what have they done there?
Yeah, they've machined a section out of the barrel to accommodate for the carbon fibre to go onto. And I don't have the biggest range of knowledge on carbon barrels. I'd rather just stick to what we know how to make, and it seems to work really well. Everyone's got a different opinion on carbon barrels and whether they're good or not good. But yeah, they machine them down nearly pencil thin, and then they'll wrap carbon through the middle of them, and then that's done. It's the same with how the Yanks do it compared to New Zealanders, and it comes down to their process control.
Yeah. And then the argument. What are the arguments around it? Why it's good and why it's not good?
A lot of traditional shooters. Different generation, I guess, of hunters. Wear and tear. You can always shorten a steel barrel. You can't shorten a carbon barrel.
Yeah.
You want to make some changes, you can't really do that. You're always limited.
Yeah. Righto. So it's like if you want to change your mind.
Yeah.
And so that comes at a customer request usually?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our customers will come to us pretty much knowing what they want already.
Yeah.
and it's quite handy because they know what their caliper is, they know what their barrel length is. They're either hand loading themselves or just shooting factory ammo, and it saves a lot of time for us going backwards and forwards.
So if someone's loading themselves, can you adjust that sort of sizing for them?
If they give us the specs, yep.
Yeah.
But we haven't done that yet, so.
Yeah. So I spoke about Gwyn Thurlow. He came over to me at the Sega show, and he was kind of like, "Oh, he's going to make some stuff for Greg." And you always see Greg talking about that he can't get much more height out of his round, like he's doing those little stumpy brass, and then tries to get the length of the projectile out as far as he can, but he's limited by that. Is that the sort of thing that goes on? People try to get lots of powder in and nice and high seated bullets, and so they want to give a good. Is it chamber?
Yeah, I'm not actually too sure.
You don't hand load?
Nah, I don't. Box and match over there, you know.
Yeah.
I try and keep it simple.
Yeah.
If I can buy it anywhere else, I know it's going to shoot pretty good. So everything else normally goes over my head a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, and it goes over my head too. Like I read those articles and they talk about the different like sections of a rifle, and I'm like, fuck me, where's that?
Yeah, I just want to make it lighter.
Yeah. And so, why did you start with that caliber?
Which one?
The
6.5 by .284.
Yeah.
I'm not actually too sure. I think it was just what Peter and Colin and Gerald wanted to shoot with. Really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's quite a little bit of a wildcat round, but it's got a bit of a punch.
Yeah. And that was for hunting.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, has it mostly been hunters coming in, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've only really dealt with hunters. We haven't done with anyone that's into the PRS competition shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they want heavier, right?
Yep. And we can make it heavier. That's easy to do. Yeah.
Yep. So that wood and composite, what has made them be what people have made stocks out of?
We've picked carbon. We don't do any wooden stocks.
Yeah.
Purely because wooden stocks need a lot of finishing requirements done to them.
Mm-hmm.
Our carbon is nice and rigid and stiff, so we get quite a lot of strength from the direction of how we lay our carbon and the type of epoxy resins we use in the pre-preg system. And the fill that we put in the stocks makes them even stiffer and lighter from there onwards. Like you saw the shell, you couldn't crush a shell with your hand, but others you can, and it's just a decorative layer. We want to be able to support the whole rifle and your bipod and the shooter and the bag at the same time. And if you're full, it shouldn't be any compromise to your stock or your rifle. Not that you should, but yeah. If we can make it better from the start, we'll keep on engaging that.
So that fill is what's going to protect it on a fall?
That's like a dampener, so the carbon's nice and stiff, but at the same time it's sometimes like a bit of a plastic. So it should be able to take some impact and not shatter. Yep. And the way that we lay our materials inside the stock in the mould and the directions that we lay those materials in is how we guarantee the stiffness for the shooter and the impact resistance.
Just don't drop your rifle.
This is, yeah. Touch wood.
Touch wood or carbon. Yeah. Oh, very good. And so now you can do any caliber or
like any sort of inlet.
Yeah.
Yep. So we can do Sarkos, Remingtons, Howers, Weatherbees. Yeah. We've done some Defiance actions now. If you've got it, we can put it in there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what, you've got a mould for that, or you?
So it's quite a universal mould, really. We can put a Howard, Remington, and a Tikka into the same platform.
Yeah.
Into one of our stocks, anyway. Yeah. The geometries are pretty similar to each other.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'll have bits of stock missing to clear certain sections on the receiver, but besides that, it doesn't change the strength or the functionality of the stock.
Yeah. And so, how long does it take
to make one from start to finish?
Yeah.
We're about 4 days. Yep.
And what's the true turnaround if they go on your website, or?
Yeah, we don't have the stocks on there at the moment. We're only recently discussing that because it's become more of a market for us. and we're starting to get more people show interest in what we do because of our quality and our pricing, and it's all made here in Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
But you've realistically got a 3-week window for a custom inlet, so we can take your psycho action, 3D scan it, measure it, take that as a model, take that out of the stock as a subtraction, and then machine your stock from there. Yep. And then if it's any more than 3 weeks, it can be up to 6 weeks, depending on how busy we are and what other lead times are like. But
Yeah.
we've always got a couple of blanks lying around.
So on the how busy we are, what's allocated for Glacier?
From here where we're sitting,
Yeah.
I'd probably say 30%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh wow, so it's starting to become a big deal.
We keep stock of all our components.
Yeah.
So we're always ahead of ourselves of manufacturing time.
Nice.
And having that manufacturing in-house is what's helping us do that.
Yeah.
Keep all the overheads low, production and quality high, and turn around as smooth as we can.
So what's driving all this? Like,
I guess just our passion to have our own product.
yeah.
Yeah. And we've got a lot of other New Zealanders and Australians which are really interested in what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the moment of like publishing the brand and things like that?
So we were supposed to have launched originally in 2020
Yeah.
at the Seeker show, but then it got cancelled.
Mm-hmm.
And then 21 it got cancelled, and then we came into 22 and we did the show.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be our main launch to the public.
Yeah.
Because prior to that, we were only selling rifles to hunters that would come into New Zealand, and they're wanting to get their trophy and have a nice lightweight rifle at the same time.
So overseas people knew about you.
Yep.
Yeah. And how were they knowing about you?
Just word of mouth.
From working with brands in the States.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of great talent in New Zealand, and there's a lot of people that are keen to bring New Zealand brands to life.
Yeah.
Which is quite good.
So is that sort of IP your connection with the States brands? How does that sort of start? Can you tell us? Or No.
No, not really.
That's IP.
Yeah, that's mainly Gerald's market.
Yeah.
I just stick to what I can make and what we manufacture, and try and stay busy and do my day job at the same time.
Yeah. So does he spend a bit of time in the States or?
No. We were supposed to during COVID, but I had paid for all the flights. Everything was ready to go over to Texas, and then COVID came, and I was happy to go Larry. Keen as I don't care about this cold, and I'll go over and do what I can. And
yeah.
And they cancelled one flight, then they cancelled another flight.
Other flights, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the show went ahead?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that was Texas, wasn't it?
I think it's the rest of the world really that care about what they're doing. And New Zealand went into...
Well, especially here in Hamilton, geez, you got eaten up by the Auckland.
Yeah.
I was down in Tokoroa, just outside of everything, but I was still having to drive to Marissa and pick my daughter up, like get escorted across the railway bridge by the police, and it wasn't just me, but geez, it was a bit of a shit show up there. Yeah. No, so they cancelled your flights. Fuck.
Yeah, and accommodation and rental cars and everything.
So none of you, is there a crossover with your other engineering brands and the people that you know, or?
Yeah, so mainly the industries that we work in.
Yeah. They go into arms and things.
No, they just like hunting and...
They just like hunting. Yeah. So they're more like customer word of mouth sort of stuff.
Yep.
Oh wow. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Boeing's based in Washington, so.
Yep. A lot of aircraft.
Yep. Yeah, I suppose that whole industry and personnel and crossover with military and stuff like that. There's you just got to look at the big military brands or personalities and what they're into, hunting and survivaling and shooting and stuff sort of comes about. Is it sort of being picked up by anything like that? No,
not from my understanding.
Yeah. No. Does carbon go into hand guns as well, or no?
I haven't seen anything yet. I know Beretta do a really nice carbon fibre trigger guards for their shotguns.
Yeah.
Yep. So they make the whole component out of carbon fibre. They look really nice, but I'm not too sure if they use any of that sort of work on handguns.
Yeah. And so your buttstocks.
Yep.
What are they?
For the shotguns?
Yeah, for the shotguns.
Yep.
What are they put onto?
They go into Benelli M2s.
Yeah.
Yep. So they'll take the 12 gauge platform, and the Super Black Eagle 12 gauge.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what, they just take off the existing one,
Yep.
slap wheels on?
Yep.
Is that aftermarket or before?
Aftermarket.
Aftermarket.
Yep. So they're a beautiful. I think they're a beautiful product. That's what kind of played a game of cards. I told some people that I could do it. I needed to prove that I could do it because it hadn't been done, and it's worked out quite well. So yeah, they're really nice and light, really rigid, and they can do everything that the normal plastic ones do, but they've reduced recoil.
Right.
Because of the stiffness of the materials, and the type of recoil pad that we manufacture helps absorb all that felt recoil.
So that's what the shooter's getting out of it.
Yep.
And is the weight doing much for them?
That's a hard question, because some people once again want a heavier shotgun so they can stay on point. Some people want something that's really nice and balanced.
Yeah.
And some people want something that's nice and light because they just don't want to carry it for a long time.
Yeah.
You know.
And so again, is that going into hunters, or is that more competition shooters?
Mainly hunters. I think there's only three or four of them out there for competition shooters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Have to keep an eye out.
Yeah, it's one of those products I think we should put more time into, but
yeah,
it's hard when you're trying to focus more on the rifle side of things than the stock side.
So did you have that at the Sega show or no?
Yep.
You did?
Yep.
And did any game bird shooters start looking your way, or?
They did, but I think it's maybe a lack of education. People see it as something new and they're like, oh, why should I change that?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's too modern, maybe. Everyone likes a black synthetic or camo or a nice wooden stock. So, but the carbon definitely looks nice.
So did you come up with the idea, or somebody?
I came up with the idea on those ones. And then I told somebody about it, and then I had to make it happen. So
yeah. Told the right person. Yep. We're not telling you. No. Oh, that's fascinating. And then so, are they just the right person that it's rolled out?
Yeah, and it's rolled out quite slowly at the same time, which is quite good. Would like to see more sales locally, but yeah, it's about education and show points and getting into the right people's hands, I guess.
Yeah, like you're saying, they're expecting 10%. No, what you've given them has been 10% of what they're expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, which was kind of to your relief, right?
Definitely. Yeah. As you've seen the workshop, it's mainly set up around our manufacturing, precision engineering, and this started off as, I guess some people said it was like a passion project, but it kind of weaned itself into a small, efficient business now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's. What would you have done?
I don't know, to be honest. I haven't really put much thought into it again since it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. But probably would have had to tool up quite a lot.
Extend the building. Find another building.
Yeah.
Be back in your grandfather's conundrum. Find another building.
Yeah, well, that's growing. You know, he started in the back of a wooden shed back in the day, and now when you look at how big we are now, it's in 64 years.
Yeah,
gained a lot from a diesel mechanic to precision engineering.
Why did that evolve from? Like clients or people asking, "Oh, can you do this as well?" Or
probably going to say that wrong because I don't quite know the full picture. I've been told it many times, but he was refurbishing and manufacturing fuel pumps for Cummins engines and stuff and Cat, and he saw a gap in the market that no one else was filling, refurbishing these parts, and having to buy new parts all the time.
Right from the States, and yeah.
And being in New Zealand, you're so far away, and you'd have to go through dealerships to get these components, and we could do it here in New Zealand. So yeah, he gave it a crack and grew it.
And do you know if his feedback's been like he got taken up? Because I met the guys behind Waratah.
Yep.
And he was saying how he was sending units to South America, to Australia, to America, to Canada, to Europe, but all the guys in New Zealand, all they wanted was a maple leaf or a stars and stripes on their unit, and they didn't buy from him for ages. Was that similar, or was it a different case where there was no other option? It was pay for the shipping, pay for the price of an international thing, or get it refurbed.
Yeah, I think back then it was pay for a refurb or pay for a new one.
Yeah.
But my understanding, a lot of it came from Mexico, and they're working backwards. So
Yeah.
they'd send the old ones away, get refurbed, and they'll come back to New Zealand, and you can do that all here.
Yeah.
Mm.
Whereas here, yeah. So have we just sort of been forced into engineering in this country because we're so far away? Like that, like do-it-yourself thing is really high within engineering and big industry.
Yeah, I think so. And if you want it better,
Yeah.
it's easy to get it done here. If you want a good turnaround, like there's a saying that the old man often says is, when we're awake, they're asleep, and when they're asleep, we're awake. So
Yeah.
I might have got that wrong, but we can do things quicker here while they're solving problems over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I suppose it's like you have a breakage in the middle of the morning, you get on the phone or send an email or leave a message, then they wake up the next day, they do it, then they implement it, whereas you can be working on the same timeline.
Yep.
Yeah, and it gets started, and like I know a couple of forestry engineers that get in their truck, drive out there with the component and fix it in the whatever out there in the forest is back running, but
Yep.
It's the same with the truck.
And it's raining.
Yeah. Yeah, and the job gets done, whereas that old saying, time is money, comes in. Yeah, and especially if it's not needing to be put on a truck. Yeah.
No, I guess it's good that we're here. We're in the heart of the Waikato, and we can service all those industries.
Now, engineering, it's pretty amazing. Like, growing up watching that Britt Monroe, like he was just a tinkerer, like making valves, making pistons, and whatever, chopping rubber off his tyres to go faster and shit like that. But that's that sort of stuff that turns into massive companies.
Yeah.
Some of them, like Gallagher's, we'll make the tool, we'll make the component, and then we'll send it all around the world.
Yeah, it's kind of how I think, really.
Yeah.
So we did our barrel clips through GRC, and they started off as a 3D printed prototype to the
GRC?
Glacier Rifle Company.
Yeah.
And then they started off as just 3D printed parts to become full-on safety features to have in mai and hunting huts. And
so what are they?
it's a barrel clip, so you screw it to your wall, and then you can clip your rifle barrel into it, and it's not going to knock it around, can't fall over.
Yeah. So as opposed to the like gun rack that's in a hut.
Yeah, leaning up against the wall with a block of timber.
Yeah. I went to Opmarie the other week and I was like, so this is a gun rack in a hut.
Yeah, it's a lot safer.
Yeah.
Especially in my
Simple.
Very.
Doc.
Yeah.
Well, actually, all the NZDAs around the place.
Yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be working on.
Yeah.
Get sidetracked.
So you're off to speak at Waikato, is that right?
Yep, on Thursday night.
Oh, so that's this week. So if you listen to it, it was last week. Sorry. Yeah. But you guys have a relationship with that club, is that right?
I personally don't. My old man and mum, they're in that club.
Yeah.
Yep. I first joined up the Thames Valley Deerstalkers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And did an awesome hunt down on Stewart Island with them. After I'd done the hunts course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you did the hunts course through Thames Valley?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I think one of the best things I'd ever really signed up for, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I might, 7 years deep, do one, eh?
It's worth it. Gerald just did another one, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
As in, took part in it?
Yeah, took part in it. Yep.
Nice. How long's he been hunting for?
Shoot, I think since his 20s.
Yeah.
But not as hardcore, I guess, as what a lot of other people do.
Yeah, and then Paul Michael's supposed to be putting out a video series soon as well.
Okay.
Yeah, like a hunting, I think, blueprint, he said.
Yep.
Whereas that game dog stuff's a top up on top of the dog training. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that will be super valuable. Yeah. Hoping to go hunting with a few of the guys from Bay of Plenty in August, but we'll see what life happens between here and there. Like, they'll message me, I think you did last year, like, we go on a helicopter hunt in August, you should come. I'm like, I'd like to. Like, it is my 35th birthday then. I could probably, like, swindle that as that's what it is. But I think they'd do it in a week or so. And I'm like, plus the helicopter. You're like, oh, a week off work and helicopters. I don't know. We'll see. You have to put it under the guise of a birthday, I think.
Just get people to pay cash.
Yeah, that's the one. Where did you go in Stewart Island?
Oh, shoot. I don't even know how long ago it was now. I was probably 17,
Yeah.
18. Yeah. And that was...
Just last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Shaved just for that too.
Yeah.
No, I can't even put a date on it without going back on the photo album and having a look at the photos. But it was great. Awesome part of the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what block you went into? Or?
No, I can't even remember that.
No.
I got a photo.
Yeah. Did you have a hut?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And did you go fishing?
No fishing. It was pretty surfy where we were.
Yeah.
So we flew in, landed on the beach, and then we unloaded the plane and went up to the hut through the dunes, and then we were there for 7 days, I think, in total.
Mm-hmm. And that plane was from Invercargill? Or?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Straight onto the beach. That's loose. And did you get anything?
No.
No?
Besides lots of photos and a good time.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find it. Because Maureen, she'll probably listen to this and she'll be correcting me the whole time.
Is that at Lady at Thames?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, Maureen's name keeps coming up a lot.
Lots of knowledge.
Yeah.
Absolutely priceless, yeah.
You know, it's amazing when you run into people like that, eh? They're like the people you least expect. Yeah. I'm super lucky at work in Taupoi. Have Murray Matushka come in, who's made like the Wapiti statue down in Te Anau. He's made the Tar statue that's in Te Kapoor.
Yep.
He's the Duke of Bedford trophy that the NZ, or maybe it's the Tar Foundation, gives out. He made that and it's like bronze. I actually got to hold it at the Sika show. It's so heavy. But yeah, he's got a deer farm north of Taupoi, and yeah, it's just like, oh, come around. You got to come see my farm. Yeah, and he's got like tar and a zebra and sika and lots of stuff on his place. He's got hunting on his place as well. He helped the Hamilton Zoo get black buck.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so he had some black buck at his place for a while as well. So in his house he's got a black buck trophy, which is pretty cool. Not many people have those, especially from New Zealand rather than from Africa. Yeah. And yeah, just like the knowledge of deer industry, hunting, meat hunting, all that sort of stuff. He gave me a really good book. I think the author's name's Joff, and it's called Deer Hunter. And that's about sort of post-depression, all the deer culling that was going on. The guy worked sort of in Manapori, up the Rakaia, and then around Lake Hawea and Lake Wanaka, Makarora, where I've been hunting. So yeah, it's just like one of those things you're reading. It has a good section on going wapiti hunting as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really one of the really good books. And I ran into a guy at a deer farming sort of open day up near Reparoa, and again this guy was like, oh, really good hunting books, Deer Hunter. And I was like, I just finished reading that. That's so good.
Nice. I'll have to have a look for it.
Yeah. Do you read much or consume much of like hunting content or?
No. There's a stack of magazines behind you.
Yeah.
That I got off Facebook Marketplace to start digging through and having another look. But besides working and trying to innovate and come up with more creative ways to do things, no, not as much as I probably should.
So what have we got there? We've got some rod and rifles, some NZ Outdoor, NZ Hunter. What's the sort of, like I say, Sika show 3 years ago was supposed to be the launch. What's it like now, having the launch like that at the Sika show, and then going, right, how do we get people to hear about us?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I spoke with the guys at NZ Ammunition, and they were basically like, there's not much we can do. There's these magazines, and even talking with Saren about the shop and the content that he can put up on Instagram and what gets pulled, and every time we get something pulled, then the whole account just gets stymied. Like Facebook, you pretty much dreaming if you want to put anything firearms related on.
Yeah, we don't pay for advertising, which is quite nice at the moment. Looking at a few avenues for magazines, not to, I guess, sell rifles in, but just to check a photo up and actually show what we can do here. I also want to try and show more of the manufacturing side of what we do, so that people can get educated and know that this is manufactured here in New Zealand, it's not imported, so that price difference between what you see for a brand new Sarko and a New Zealand rifle is quite on comparison with each other. The difference is you're not making thousands, you're making tens.
Yeah. And how much can it be personalised? Like
heaps. So from the start, we've always done custom engraving. So you can have your own name on the side of your rifle. You can have your own serial numbers. We do this really nice CNC machine engraving on the machines. And if you've got your own family crest or emblem, we can put that same feature on the stock.
Yeah.
Or on your receiver itself, or on the bottom metal.
Yeah. And so that was that kind of like that little Glacier logo that you had on the one you were showing me?
Yep.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
It's just that the different touch, the more personal touch you can make it. It's more of a custom rifle, but it's that heirloom at the same time you can utilise and use, and it's still a tool at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's like the thing with wooden stocks. Lots of people have engraved them, and you know, that was again in that deer hunter book, guys in the colours that would waste time in camp and make intricate designs on their stocks. And I think the same was in a lot of those medium field army rifles. A lot of them guys would be sitting in trenches or tents and make their own mark on them. Yeah,
we've got our own proprietary way of putting engravings on the stocks themselves.
Yeah.
To add grip or to add a really cool feature that stands out from everyone else's carbon fibre stock.
And
we can do that because we know how much carbon goes into that stock in certain places at the same time. So you're not weakening it or anything. And the goal of that was to try and create another personal touch, but to make it look like it's a modern firearm with these new modern technologies. It's not new, but for a lot of people it is. But now it also can look a bit like a traditional firearm with your hatching and
yeah. So on the grip, like you said, you've tried a couple of coatings and like you say you've roughed it up in different ways. What would you like to sort of educate people about your material?
Oh, it's smooth, but it's at the same time it makes you more streamlined to go through the bush and through the trees, and it helps you go through the sucklejack a lot easier. It cuts the wind friction down as you're passing through, climbing over. But it's durable, and it can be slippery to some people's hands, but when it's wet or slightly damp, it is quite grippy still.
And you said durable, like how hard is that to scratch?
Oh, you can scratch it.
Yeah.
Like you can scratch a wooden or a synthetic stock, but the difference is you're not going to scratch through the surface. Like there's that many layers of carbon in there, you're never going to go through the first 0.2 millimeters. It'll just keep on wearing out from there.
Wearing out?
Yeah, so the surface will just rub down and you can fix it yourself.
With carbon or
No, just with a bit of light sandpaper, and you don't go too far. You've got about 3 millimeters, so it's pretty consistent all over.
Yeah.
Point 2 is only a fraction of a scratch.
I reckon good content to be doing like a metal rock band guitar smash.
Yeah, well, you can stand on it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, we had Gerald's down on one of our damaged stocks that failed in the autoclave, and we posted that up on Instagram. We got a lot of people commenting and messaging saying that's impossible, that's strong, and it was hollow, so there's no fill on the inside, no beating block. And then these guys came down from Oklahoma to have a look at putting their Weatherby into one of our stocks and to have a look at our guns. And they said, we saw your video on Instagram and the photos, is there any chance that we can give it a go? So one of the guys, I think his name was Simon, he stood on it, didn't break. He was blown away by that, and he was looking at it, and then his mate jumped on it at the same time. So there's two like adults, so probably about 100 kilos each, maybe 80 kilos each. And it withstood their weight as a hollow shell.
Yeah.
and they're just wrapped by that.
Was that one that you were showing me, or a different one?
No, different one.
Yeah.
I think I've thrown that one away now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even like that one, they said, "Oh, this one's failed." It, like you gave it a twist and it creaked.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the sort of stuff that we can't use. It's not laminated. It's not structural.
Yeah.
Yeah. The epoxies the resin hasn't come out to the surface of the mold.
Yeah.
Yep. So it's not fully embedded.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about the material of the carbon?
Yeah. So we get our material in from two different places, from the UK and from Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite nice supporting other people across the ditch, like in Aussie, the stuff they manufacture in-house, they will manufacture specifically for your recipe.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We can't go into that too much, but at the end of the day, it's pre-carbon you can buy from anywhere, really.
Yeah.
It just has a different touch to what we're doing.
Yeah. And is there anyone in New Zealand making it, or
making carbon?
Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of. No, I know there's quite a large company up in Auckland that imports it.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of people that support the sailing industry doing the same thing, but no, I don't think there's anyone in New Zealand that's manufacturing carbon fibre.
So is it a byproduct of fuel, or not sure?
No, I'm not sure on that one.
That's all good.
I just like it.
Yeah, that's useful.
Yeah.
And then your bolt reiterations.
Yeah, so we recently made a couple of changes to our bolts for our short actions. And being a part of the Glacier family, when you purchase your rifle from us, it's got a limited lifetime warranty. So if we make an upgrade like this,
mm-hmm.
we'll offer that same upgrade to everyone else across the family that's got that same action from that date.
Yeah,
yep.
That's loose.
Yeah.
And so, what have you done to it?
We made it lighter.
Yeah, that's the game, isn't it?
Yeah, but we haven't sacrificed any strength, and we've gone around and put our logo on the bolt handles on the underside.
Yep.
And we've gone and put this really nice stag on the other side of the handle.
Yeah. And you were saying about the coating as well?
Yep. So these are just nitride hardened.
Yeah.
Yep. So there's no coating system on there.
Yeah.
Soda blast finished or Cerakote finished.
And the coating before with the titanium on titanium, what was that?
Yes, that's the high nickel. So that's the anti-gauling. When you run titanium on titanium, you've got a potential gauleness coming up. So it's when the two surfaces react, or they have a different material, like a bit of dust or dirt, getting in there, and they can start to rub up.
So that won't happen on this? No.
And we went to flute them to reduce some more weight.
So what should people do to care for it?
Nothing.
Try it.
Just clean it. Clean it as you normally would. Yeah.
With an oil or no?
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
My type of hunting and maintenance is pretty slack. It sits in the cupboard after I've used it.
Is, man.
Unless someone reminds me that I've got to go and clean my rifle, it doesn't get done until that happens, or someone tells me that it looks like rubbish.
At the last NZTA shoot in Kapoor, I was in a conversation between Lee Perry and Saren, and Lee's just giving him, I don't know how serious he was being about like not bothering with cleaning and rodding and everything, but yeah, he was just like, oh, you just try to sell stuff, Saren. That was quite funny.
I know it must be working. Like I don't do that much hunting anymore because I'm spending more time working, but it hasn't missed. So,
yeah.
Well, I haven't missed. It hasn't stopped functioning, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the magazine, what do we got?
Yep. So like everything else that we make it all in house. So it's a 4-part magazine, 3 rounds. So all our mags are 3+1, and then our drop bottom floor plates are normally the same. Sometimes you can push 4 depending on your caliper size.
Yeah.
Yep. So we manufacture everything out of 7000 series aluminium. So it's rigid. It holds its shape. It's durable. Same material as what we make aircraft components out of.
Yeah.
And then they're hard anodized, so they're not going to wear away as fast.
Yeah.
But they're still light.
And do you do aftermarket stuff for people?
No.
No.
Not at this stage. It's definitely easier to make a product for your own line of things than it is to try to suit everyone else.
So you guys are gunsmiths?
No.
No.
No, we don't promote ourselves as gunsmiths. We have gunsmiths that do work for us. But we're precision engineers. We like to say that our rifles are blueprinted, so from the start of the material, going through the process into the machines, through quality, it's made to fit already. There's no hand fitting, there's no hand assembly. You can take one item from one rifle and put it into another rifle.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then, so what are you guys not doing? Barrels and triggers?
Yep, correct. We use Timney precision triggers, and we'll use True Flight for standard stainless steel barrels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or bring your own.
That's another option. You can supply your own barrel blank, and we can do the same thing. Yep.
Awesome.
Which is quite handy.
So is this like quite fun? It's quite like, it was awesome getting a tour of the workshop.
Yep.
Yeah. But like, is the day to day as a precision engineer quite fun as well?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can be stressful and it's really enjoyable too at the same time. So yeah, when you're working with a piece of material that's worth more than a lot of other parts that you can do, it can really get up there. But some of the work you do it's really rewarding, because you're taking that raw piece of material and you're basically shaping it into that finished product, whether it's for a space satellite or for an airplane or for someone's human body joint components. So yeah, I do get quite a kick out of it.
On that medical stuff, where did that start?
It's been there from the start, really.
Yeah.
It's precision engineering. The only difference nowadays, it's 3D printed, and they'll machine key components, features.
Yeah.
That take the small bearings or their wear surface.
So, did New Zealand have something to do with artificial joints, or?
I'm unsure about that. I know there's companies in New Zealand that 3D print those components.
Yeah.
And then, being in New Zealand, we're innovative, so we can machine it. If you can design it and you can print it, you need to be able to finish it at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it's not just a finished part. You can't have additive manufacturing and offer a finished component that needs to have a particular surface finish, or like a joint, or like a bearing diameter or a bushing.
Yeah.
You have to machine them. Yep.
And so, once it's made, does it then need to go into some sort of sterilizing situation, or?
Yeah, that's out of our hands.
Out of your hands.
Yep.
Yeah. So you've got the components, and then it gets ready for surgery, ready for theatre.
We just get it right.
You just get it right.
We just get it right.
Yeah.
Yep. Every time. Yeah.
Yeah. So who's doing quality on that?
So we've got our own in-house quality team here.
Mm-hmm.
And they work closely with our machinists on the shop floor every day.
And those are just the specs that are passed in. You make sure they've met that.
Yep.
And the tolerances and stuff are all set.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So
it's what the customer wants.
Just do the job, eh?
Pretty much.
It's that simple.
Yep.
Simple business model, really. Do the job.
Just be innovative.
Yeah.
You got to figure out how to hold it and how you're going to machine it, and make up custom tools for it. And we've got all that here in New Zealand.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. So, what's this? Is this your website rolling past?
Yep.
Yeah. glacierrifle.co.nz. And Instagram, is that worthy?
Yep, I think so.
Yeah.
Just search up Glacier Rifles on Instagram.
Yeah.
And you'll pick it up.
And anywhere else?
Yep, we're based on Facebook at the same time.
Yep.
Yep. So just Glacier Rifle Company, or GRC.
Yeah.
Or just mention it to a few people and they'll tell you where.
Tell you.
Some people know where we are, some people don't. It's quite nice.
Do you want them coming here or contact?
No, I think give it a couple of years and we'll probably have our own shop space.
Yeah.
Purpose built around Glacier.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Maybe down in the middle of countryside in the King Country somewhere.
Nice.
Yeah, far away, so I can retire over there and do that.
What'd you say? Have your own hunting block?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
Can only work when the sun shines. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So what, you're currently did you say 2017? Oh yeah, so you're about a 6-year overnight success at the moment.
Yep.
Yeah, give it a couple, 5 more years and it'll be a proper overnight success.
Yeah, I think so. And it's quite nice we've grown this slow.
Yeah.
It means we can keep our quality exactly what it needs to be, and we can make a really nice product at the same time.
Yeah.
keeping everything affordable as much as we can by doing all our own in-house manufacturing is another big gain from that.
Yeah.
You're not having to pay to import and worry about the exchange rates. So.
That's true. So that there, was that what you sent away when you said I can do a shotgun?
Nah, so I had a friend, Ryan. I didn't own a Benelli M2 at the time, and I needed to borrow one.
Right.
And he lived over in Tauranga, and I needed to go over to him, pick it up, come back to here. He's left-hander shooter too, so I'd have to do all my testing with that, and then come back again, drop it off, go and ask if I can borrow it again, come pick it up, and we made it happen. So that was one of the first renditions that we came up with, and it lasted I think 3 years now, 4 years.
And so this was why you knew you could do it, or?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It's the trial and error that's what makes it what it is.
So you've done this already?
Yep.
Yeah. And so what's it attaching with?
So that's the Benelli M2s have basically like a big pull stud that runs through the middle, and they've got a spring inside it.
Mm-hmm.
And then this just screws onto the back of that shaft, and you can still use your standard shim kits that go on them, and you can change your cant angle at the same time. So it uses all the standard OEM shims, and you just unbolt it, bolt this one on, put on a recoil pad, and you're shooting. Yep.
Getting ducks.
Yep. And this was stoked when I put this on the wall and frame it, I think.
I'll touch it again.
Yeah, like you can feel how thin that carbon is, and it's done absolutely amazing jobs. And now the new ones, they've got more carbon in them than they needed.
Yeah.
And with trial and error, I've developed other stocks like for the Beretta A400 Extreme, and they've really pulled their weight. We've come a long way.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
So, man, what keeps you flowing along? Do you have a way you live your life, or a mantra, or a quote, or anything like that? You've got 2 generations ahead of you. That's always helpful.
Yeah, I think I've got quite good guidance.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's an issue. It's not an issue. It's hard to work with family, but at the same time, it can be quite rewarding. I've seen where I've come from and where I am now, where I want to be. Then the timeline in that frame isn't that big. So
yeah.
And if I don't get to it, then I'll just push the date out a bit further and carry on. Really.
And can you kind of see that laid out for you, like you say, with the 2 more generations ahead of you?
Definitely.
Yeah.
My father and his father have done a really good job of setting this business up, and I think they've done it in a way that it can be passed on to the next generation and follow through from there. Having the support from my grandfather and my father here is quite good, but at the same time having the support from my partner at home it's even better. I spend more time here than I do at home sometimes, and if I'm at home and the fire siren goes, well then I'm not at home anymore, I'm doing something else. So yeah, being there and having people support me in all those groups is quite good. They can see a lot of potential and drive and where it's going to go to.
So which fire station is it?
Narrawahia.
Yep. And how broad are you guys?
In what way for?
What's your catchment?
We go from Horatu Road up through to Huntley, and we go up and down the expressway.
Yeah. And did you have, with that Raglan Road closure, did you have much to do with that?
No, we've I'll say a touch wood, but we didn't have that many calls during the that bad weather. So yeah, which was quite good. But now that it's closed, we go to quite a few other incidents that pop up.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What was your training for that?
I did a year's recruits training at the station 6 years ago, and then they sent me on a recruits course which goes for a 7-day period over in Rotorua at NTC.
Yep.
And you meet some fantastic people over there, and then you pass your course. And I'm still a firefighter now. They give me grief for it every day because you're supposed to progress through the ranks.
And you haven't, or what?
No, I'm pretty good at staying stationary sometimes. So you find that comfortable point, and you're like, oh, I'll just stay a firefighter.
Yeah.
So then I got signed off as a firefighter, and after that, I've kind of just stayed there, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do little bits of innovation. I can see points in the market, like not the market but the industry for firefighting, that there is gaps.
Yeah.
And I like to innovate and tinker around through there, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why I've stayed a firefighter, because it's easy to put your time into things that you want to be focused on and not so much of progressing through.
How does it feel looking at the appliances and all that sort of stuff? Do you start to get out you like that could be better brain?
Yeah, kind of. my brain.
It's a big ship to turn around, eh? Like,
yeah.
So I've seen this one on our truck out here in Ngātawahi. What do you reckon about the nationwide?
Yeah, it's just small things that you pick up on, like how you do your job, and is there a way that you can come up with something that's going to make your job easier. And like behind you on the shelf, on the top shelf there's that blue and orange cable component, and that's called a hinge wedge. So I saw a need to make something so when you go through a door, you can put that on the hinge so the door's not going to close back in your game.
Mm-hmm.
So since we go through quite a few commercial properties and even households, it's good to have the door pinned open.
Push it open, whack it in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you can use that to hold the door steady, drag hoses through. You can bang the door, it doesn't shift out. And if you dropped it on the floor, you can easily kick it into the door to keep it open.
Oh, wow, right.
So it's a single-handed operation, done deal, carry on as you're going through. You know that your safety to follow your hose back out is going to be there every single time. So.
And so where would you have that?
My one just hangs on my bunker jacket,
Mm-hmm.
my level 2 jacket, and that's just sitting there, always ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Have you done the Sky Tower?
Yeah. Yeah, I've done it, I think it's 4 years now.
Yeah.
Yep.
What ways have you done it?
I've done it 3 times done and started. Very first time is when I set my good record.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a habit of not training for things. So I think I did that in 20 minutes or 21 minutes 60 seconds. No, it must have just been on 21 minutes, I think. And that was fantastic. That was great. Yeah, no training involved. I had McDonald's for breakfast. Powered up.
Usain Bolt.
Pretty much. Felt like someone's chasing you.
Yeah, yeah.
And back then I was a lot fitter at the same time, so I guess that was a bit of a bonus. Then you get comfortable, and I did it again. Got a slower time. Did it again. Got a slower time. Last year, I can't even remember my time. But I did that donned, not started this time, so I didn't have the breathing apparatus on my face anyway. I had to carry it up on my back.
Mm.
And yeah, I did that pretty well, so yeah, me and my mate Scott went up. Mm.
How close are you to running out?
I've had the whistle going as I was going up. So the last flight
is that a notification whistle?
Yeah, that you've got a little bit here left.
Because you got to control your breath, right? Is it kind of like scuba where you got to yeah?
But you just go for the clappers. And that's only
hope you make it.
Yeah, and there's been one time I left my fire helmet back at the station, and we already stayed the night up there. And the fire chief was up there supporting us, and he had his helmet in the back of his car. So
is that a different colour?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I asked my mates coming back up from Narrawa here to Auckland for the event. They grabbed my helmet on the way. Yeah. And they had it with them, but since the chief already passed me his helmet, he was like, "I'm not taking it back to the car. You've got to wear it up the stairs." So yeah, that was a bit embarrassing.
Did you do him proud?
I'd like to think I did. Yeah. Yeah, made it to the top, which is the main point. Yeah. Yeah, we raised quite a lot of money that year too.
And what's the money going towards?
Blood cancer, leukemia.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah. No, it's a cool event.
It's fantastic. I love it. We've got some new recruits that have done their course, and they're firefighters, and they're doing it this year. Yeah. And it's quite good seeing other people get into it.
What's a commitment for a volunteer firefighter?
Your time.
You got shift allocation, right?
Yeah, so we break it up into shifts. It's basically 2 days, 2 weekends a month, and then when you're on duty, I think that's right, roster duty, and then from there it's when the siren goes, 2 truck call, you go, if you're available. Mm.
And how do they figure that out?
What do you mean?
that you're available?
Oh, so we've got an app now called AMS,
Mm-hmm.
and it tells you whether you're there or you're not there. It uses GPS if you want to use that to more accurately say if you're in town or out of town.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right. Sounds good.
It's just the government tracking you. So.
Let's not go there.
Nah.
Sweet, Sam. I hope lots of people have found out more about you and about Glacier Rifle. It's bloody interesting.
Yeah, no, thanks.
How many people can come do what I've just done? You might be inundated.
Yeah,
we better not start there.
Only a couple of people have so far.
Yeah.
We don't mind telling people where we are, but it's making sure it's the right people that know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Brilliant. No, thank you so much for your time. This is a Sunday.
It is.
And I hope that chat with NZDA, what will be the previous Thursday, goes well, man.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be nice to show them what we do and what we can do. And
Is your dad going to talk too, or just you?
I'm hoping he does. I'm not very good at the whole talking part.
You've done well, man. You've done well. Awesome. Let's end that there. Cheers.
No, cheers, mate.